What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Hot Seat Podcast presents Hot Takes. Well, we give our take on whatever we deem is hot. I'm your boy, Shawn Xavien, alongside my man, the Storyteller.
Yes, sir.
And we have a special guest today. I got a stunt double. I got Jayisxzno from the XZNO Clothing brand. And if you're wondering, that's my son. He doesn't say much, man. And of course, make sure you right. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on YouTube at the Hot Seat Podcast. And of course, you can always listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows for all the Hot Seat Podcast stuff. So today, guys, we're going to be giving you guys our review full of spoilers on The Flash, or the newest Batman film featuring the Flash. To say the least, man. So the Flash dropped this past Thursday. So for time stamp guy, it dropped on the, I want to say, what day was that? The 15th.
Yeah, 16th.
Literally. Yeah, 16th was the date they gave, but it dropped the day before in theaters. And I will say that it arrived with a lot of hype. And we'll get into our score at the end, but I want to get you guys' take on the film. Since you're our guest, what was the first thing that stood out from you, or what was your take on the film? I know you saw a couple of times. So,
all right. So I saw the movie twice. When I first went in, I was expecting to see something completely different than I saw. We all know about the Flashpoint paradox. I thought I was going to see something similar to that. After coming out, I can't say I was left a bit disappointed, but I still really did like the movie because of, besides all the Ezra Miller stuff, how he played his character in both roles. It seemed like two different people. I just like how the story was. Basically, I liked it personally.
That's cool.
Okay, I will say overall, I did enjoy the movie, especially between DC and Marvel. We've been fiending for good movies lately.
Right.
And Marvel delivered theirs with Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe. So it was due for DC to do it. And I believe this was a very good movie. I'll dive a little bit deeper into why I took my score down a little bit towards the end after I kind of reviewed it in my own mind. But just off of going to see it, non-biased review, not talking about all the Ezra Miller personal stuff, just going to see a good movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good movie. But I will say this, and maybe over some time, the movie execs will start to take some heed to it. But I feel like we're in a trend that I don't like. And the best moments, the majority of the best moments of the film were all in the trailer. And in my opinion, and I did some quick research, the trailer was damn near 3 minutes long. I look back at some of our favorite films, some of the best films from the comic book world, looking at Infinity War, and looking at Captain America, Winter Soldier. All of their trailers were roughly around the 2.5, coming in under 3 minutes. But those particular trailers, I felt like they didn't give the amount of exciting information and scenes in their trailers that The Flash did, or some of the other films are starting to do as well. Same thing in Shazam. Even some of the Marvel films have done it. And I walked away, even though I thought The Flash was a good movie, Batman all day, as you can see. There was no wow moment. There was no holy shit moment. But I've said it before, I've been probably on the pod. If they had took some of those scenes out of the trailer, and specifically, if they had just shown Ben Affleck's portion of that in the film, and maybe just shown like a quick shot of the back of Michael Keaton's Batman, then they could have kept you guessing a bit. And then when you saw the film, you'd be like, oh my God. I don't even remember the last time, probably when we saw Spider-Man, was when we saw, oh my God type thing. Because I didn't get that out of The Flash.
And you were still guessing in Spider-Man, are they actually going to be there?
Right.
When are they going to show up? Things like that. You've seen scenes from Michael Keaton before you even saw the movie.
Right.
Not just a flash point, no pun intended, not just a flash of them. Like you saw actual fighting scenes and things.
Right.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where they messed up, because I kind of see why they did it, because you're seeing it now. You're going to see some people that are so hateful towards Ezra Miller and his stuff that they're just not going to go see it.
Right.
You know, we'll get to those numbers in a moment.
Right.
So they thought, you know, pitching this the way that they pitched it, because you saw how they pitched it. I don't care if they call it The Flash all they want. That is Batman's movie.
Yeah. It absolutely was.
Starring or featuring, I should say, The Flash, even though the storyline is in there.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Keaton made that movie because a lot of people, nostalgic wise, was just like, yo,
off of that. Yeah.
I need to be there. But why are you giving out like his best lines in the trailer?
Right.
It's bad enough we see him. You gave out his best lines in the trailer, and you're sitting there like, okay, well, that's not going to be a surprise.
Yeah, there was no surprise. There was no, wow moment that I got out of it. Even going towards the end, I was like, okay, that was cool, but there was nothing that was like, it blew my mind and making me want to watch it again. You spoke about the Ezra Miller stuff on there, and they were in a space where they were damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yeah.
They invested a lot of money in this film. This film comes from their previous regime, and of course, after the closing out or kind of almost closing out the whole Snyderverse.
Mm-hmm.
And the film had the potential to do a lot, but to your point, there seems to be a concerted effort amongst parts of like the media that covers these films that don't really want to see DC really succeed. And you can kind of tell, and I'm a DC fan, but at the same time, you can read some of the stuff that's out there, and they're not going to give, it seems like they're not going to give these films a chance no matter what. And then if there's any type of hint of, some, in this case, Ezra Miller situation or something like that, they drag that on through. The biggest thing I saw that they were talking about the CGI. Yeah, there's some CGI pieces, but has any of those people not seen Wonder Woman 1984? You can't tell me the CGI in Flash was worse than
one of the movies that I can erase from my memory.
Right.
Yes.
It was one of those ones. I thought it was a really fun film. It was a fun film. Again, it was, some people that it felt like it was drawn out of time. The only thing I will say this, the emotional part didn't hit me like they wanted to. I feel like, the loss of his mom and stuff like that. I feel like sometimes it was trying a bit too hard to evoke emotion out of you. And I didn't get that. Like I didn't get that kind of.
So I explained to y'all in the beginning, I kind of brought some of my points down after seeing the movie, coming down off the high and really going, did this make sense? Did this make sense?
Right.
And I took about 0.5 off. Like I said, we'll get to those numbers later. But I think part of the reason why you didn't feel that emotion, as far as the mom dying and stuff like that, is because they honestly didn't go into it.
Yeah.
How are you telling that story? And the whole point is going back and trying to reverse that time period of your mom dying, and you don't zoom in the fact of she was killed.
I agree completely.
Where was Reverse Flash? Even if you're going to tell the second story, like where was, you know what I mean? Okay, dad didn't do it. Where was, even at the end, even if you held it to the end, where was the cliffhanger of, oh shit, that they never told it, bro.
They never even mentioned it again.
Told it offline in an interview, talking about, oh yeah, it was Reverse Flash. Well, that's fun. Okay, but you might not even get a second movie. So what point does
they didn't even hint?
You want to keep those people like, yo, we need number two. We need number two. It was like, okay. And it left me even more confused.
Yeah.
You have to put that in there. How do you tell the Flashpoint story and you don't tell what really happened within why he's going back in the Flashpoint? It was a stubborn move. I'm going back to do this.
Yeah.
Even the fact that he had the ability to go back in time but never went far enough to see when his mom actually got killed made zero sense.
It made no sense.
Like,
You couldn't go
once did he not
downstairs
question
when
it.
everything is frozen. You couldn't go downstairs
And
and see
that's
your mom die.
and that's why I didn't get attached to it, because he was more hell bent on proving his dad's innocence. Which, okay, I got that part.
No, I understand all that.
But you weren't like you were saying, you weren't
it
curious
takes
to
a
find out.
millisecond to walk downstairs when time is
Right.
stopped.
Yeah, he never thought about who actually did kill his mom. Like, no one, he didn't actually like
once question it.
Never.
Hey,
No questions.
hey, let me give you another point of, okay, I'm so quick, but I forgot about my quickness. Do you remember when he went back, he meets the younger Barry, and they go into like that highly secure laboratory and everything like that, and they're hiding from the guardsmen to try. I'm like, why doesn't he just pick him up and zoom into the lab?
I will say because he's too fast to move him. They kind of went over that a little bit. That if he moved people too fast,
because I missed that.
Yeah, it happened. It happened. So when the older Barry got moved because he was about to get shot.
But I thought that was him doing it. That he said he would be too fast.
So
if
it's the other way.
He moved that fast. Okay, go ahead.
Both. If he moves too fast in general, then he can end up killing somebody if he moves too quickly. The people can't. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, they can't handle the whatever the speed portion itself. So that's why you saw the older Barry throwing up, because he asked him, what do you do? And he said, I only moved you a little bit. So you were the other way around when he found the younger Barry. Remember, he didn't even have any powers yet. So if he had moved too fast, it would have had those same effects on the younger Barry. See what I'm saying?
Oh, you mean on the older? Because wasn't it the younger one that got in there?
Maybe it was
the older one is the one that lost the powers.
Right. Yeah. So they were. Yeah. So that was that part. It was.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Because I lost it for a second. I'm like, why are we? Like, what is going on? And then, wait a minute. No, because this was the other thing on it. Remember, he was trying. When he got struck, when it went through both of them after they sat down too. How are you so fast for everything else? And you do exactly when the time of all these different type of things happening, but couldn't get out the way.
I think I see what you're saying there. Like
you see what I mean? Like, I was just so confused. You knew Batman throws the thing at you, you're able to do the.
I think that was probably one of those things. That was one of those. I think more than likely that was one of the inevitable things.
Yeah,
I think it was
a story on that. At that point that had to happen.
Yeah, he had to have gotten struck by that lightning in that case to go through this whole thing of finding his younger self and so forth from there. I want to get your take on this, and something that for some people it's a big thing and some people it's not. The Flash run. Like that glidey thing that done, like
I don't feel too bad about the Flash run, because even before the Flash movie, Zack Snyder, he originally came out and said a while ago that he had Ezra Miller and them study how figure skaters run, because it makes them glide more easily, and that's how the Flash interprets not like breaking the ground every time he runs. It just makes him quicker and easier to move. So personally, I don't mind the Flash run, but it really just, I think it just depends on how you feel about it. Because CW wise,
it made for one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Yeah,
when he didn't have the powers and he was trying to run around.
Yes, that was hilarious. that was that.
So yeah, that definitely added.
So the big elephant in the room, the big elephant, is of course the cost of this film and the box office success. And of course, it's been plastered everywhere that it opened up at about 55 million. They were expecting something along the lines of 120 million. And it's already been coined a flop and everything else in between by box office standards. And then you look at the amount of reshoots and the marketing and everything for it.
It's due to bring in a little bit under Black Adam.
Yeah. And again, it's a thing where I feel like the new regime and James Gunn, all those guys, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't type thing. The Ezra Miller aspect alone killed part of the fact that people didn't go, and they have their own thing. the other part of that is it goes back to the fact that so much was put out there in the beginning, from in the trailer aspect. Word of mouth is going to kill the financial impact of this film. But at this point now, we're in a space now where we no longer are going to get, like, when it comes to these Universal films, like the ones DC or Marvel, are we going to get any more of the $1 billion movies anymore? Because the last $1 billion film for DC was Aquaman. That's globally.
Yeah. We've had this discussion offline. I believe we will, because there's plenty of stories to be told specifically on the Marvel side when we start getting into X-Men and all that type of stuff. So I believe we will. Okay. But keeping it DC wise, I don't know. And the only reason I can tell you I don't know is what I struggle with. Once again, one of the reasons I had to take some points off. I don't understand the direction of what's going on in DC. Even though James Gunn broke it down, this was the easiest lead-in ever to go, boom, we're going to tell the story of Flashpoint and reset everything.
Yeah.
But then you have one of the dumbest end of credit scenes at the end of that movie that just makes absolutely no sense to me. Because I'm like, okay, if you're going to reset it, okay, you can have your Gal Gadot scene and Batflick in there, and you can have, Jason Momoa in there as Aquaman, but let that be it. Why are we having Aquaman 2 with Jason Momoa? Let it reset. And I heard the movie is going to be horrible. So let it reset. I don't know. It frustrates me because I just don't. You're going to have this. Then you have what? Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
And then after Blue Beetle is going to be Aquaman 2.
Right.
Which is an extension from the Aquaman movie that was supposed to be reset and going into James Gunn's DCU, not DCEU. Was he dying in the movie and now he's gone? Like, what's going to happen?
I think they put the end credit scene in because Barry kind of explains at the end towards every universe he went to, because it kind of hints towards after we saw who was at the end. Not Michael.
Oh, you're talking about after we saw
George Clooney. George Clooney. After we saw George Clooney, it hints at Barry went to other universes, and every other universe, Jason Momoa was still Aquaman. So his Aquaman is always the same, but every other Batman and whatever changes. So I think they kept that as he's now in a different universe. James Gunn's universe, the new universe, and Aquaman is still the same person or whatever. And then Aquaman 2 is still going to be. I heard they were doing research for that. I'm not quite sure how true that is.
I hope so.
But if they are, then I think that's how that leads into the whole James Gunn new universe.
So it's going to kind of spin in the way of, sorry, spoiler again, the last Spider-Man movie, the animated one.
Yeah.
How he ends up in a different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that exactly, but it is what it is at this point.
Because this makes me, even if it's good, it's like, why do I want to see Aquaman 2 if this is not I don't know. It's just I don't know. It left me weird.
I'm so glad that Batman is bulletproof from all this. Like the Batman, Batman and Joker, they can operate standalone as they've done, and then they are bulletproof.
By the way, Batman's fine anyway, Sean, because every part of Batman was straight. I thought Ben Affleck was fine. I definitely thought Michael Keaton was great, and I thought it was a very surprising take on having George Clooney end it. So Batman's straight, and then the Batman outside all this. So that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah,
it's the rest of it.
How do you guys feel about? And I absolutely love it. How do you guys feel about Supergirl?
I'll let y'all go first.
I mean, I haven't really watched that many shows or movies that have Supergirl like that. So personally, I like the character. I just like the character. Really, it was just cool. I don't know.
Okay.
I liked her I liked how aggressive and vicious she was. Like she was like it was go time for her. Yeah, I like that aspect. I know the actors. I know said she's been in conversations and talks with the heads over at DC about continuing the playing that character. So we'll see. Hopefully this is not another case. What I'm tired of them just bringing in and changing out people and changing out people and changing out people. And some of them do well. I mean, I'm not a big Superman fan, but Henry Cavill made me excited about Superman. And then, they completely fucked that up. Like they completely messed that character and the opportunity for that.
And they had 3 different end scenes.
Yeah. For this one. Yeah.
With him being in one of them.
Right. And I don't understand. Like I have a lot of credibility is built up into James Gunn, rightfully so. But at the same time, like to your point, I don't know where their vision is going, where this is all going to lead, which at this point now, I ask the question again, are people getting tired as a whole? Because I know what we like. Is the steam starting to run out for the big all connected universes? Like we already saw, we thought we were working towards something with Fantastic Four on the Marvel side, and that's already under rewrites and stuff like that. We know we're asking about the X-Men, but it's like, but so far, we're still dealing with, on the Marvel side, this phase 4, phase 5 thing, which, that whole situation. And then DC, we have no idea what this is called at this point. I don't know, man. It's, we're in this weird space. And now I think I don't think the box office are going to be like what they're used to. So in my opinion, I think the focus needs to be on great storytelling and getting the product right. Like none of these companies are hurting for money, I don't believe. So put out a quality film and let it be as it is. And, I know we're in this media era where everything gets out and stuff like that, but take the time to present it and market it correctly.
So
and leave us wanting.
Where I wanted to go.
Go ahead.
You're going where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
On the DC side, just slow the hell down.
Right.
I've always said this. You are in no competition with Marvel. Marvel, honestly, is in no competition with you.
Right.
Do your own lane. Just because Marvel had gotten to Avengers quicker, you don't have to make one movie with your stars and then all of a sudden we got the Justice League. Build it up. See, that's the great thing that what Marvel did in the very beginning. They had us caring about characters that some of us didn't even really know that much about. And then next thing you know, you're like, damn, I can't wait till this really comes together. On DC side, they moved way too quick. Way too quick. And all of a sudden, we had the Justice League. You didn't have no solo film for Cyborg. You had no solo film for the Flash. You had your stuff with Superman and Batman, but then you're introducing new ones, and then boom, it was thrown together.
Right.
And then that was it. That was it. So that emotional aspect was gone. You were more relying on the fact of you just knowing the character in general. So I don't know. That storytelling really has to get down.
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn can tell that story.
Yeah.
The thing is he going to sit back and go, all right, let me really paint this picture. Let me build it up. I do not have to replace the Justice League so early. Just tell these characters. Just tell these stories. Yeah. And put it where you need to put it, because they definitely have enough characters. Let's be real.
Absolutely.
They definitely have enough characters.
Absolutely. So
just slow down, let it go. I don't need a Justice League movie next year or 2 years from now. I don't need any of that. Just give me good quality movies. And if he does what he said he was going to do, and this is copying off the whole Marvel thing, tying it in from movies to animation, to the storylines on TV and things like that. If he does that, he'll have my attention.
Yeah.
He'll have my attention. So we'll see. We'll see
So,
after we get past Aquaman 2.
yeah, true story facts. So I think all us collectively, all our scores aligned. So we're looking at about what?
Hold on a second.
My bad.
Before we get the score, you can't get off of here.
I'm sorry.
Without talking about Nicolas Cage, my brother.
Being in the film. Being in the film. For people who don't know, Nicolas Cage, there's a part in the film, it's spoilers, at the end when they show a nod to all of the previous, first of all, they're showing you DC's multiverse is what's happening. In that case, and they showing you the throwback Supermans and such, and they do show Nicolas Cage's Superman, the one that actually never came to be, the film that was going to be directed by directed by Tim Burton.
I think,
and so much so that they ended up doing a documentary on Superman Lives. So he actually, some of those other characters with CGI, he was actually in the film, painted up and everything, and it was pretty dope. I guess I don't know. Did you even know who he was when you saw that?
No, I did, because I seen a photo of him getting up in a costume like probably a year or so ago on Instagram. But like when I seen him in the movie, it wasn't really like a.
He ain't watched the documentary though.
I didn't.
He ain't watched the documentary.
For us that kind of knew of that movie supposed to be covered out.
Yeah.
And then to see him in there, it was like, oh snap.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then I will say on the flip side, I felt a little bit weird on the Christopher Reeve stuff. I saw where they were going with it, but I was like,
I mean, they did. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got permission from his family and stuff to put him on there. I think that was a bit of a nod. I think I told you.
No, it was a nod. I saw where they were going with it.
Yeah.
It's just some of that stuff kind of freaks me out sometimes.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like when I felt like years ago when I was like, okay, that looks cool, but are you really showing up at a concert to see Biggie and Tupac on the stage through the hologram? Kind of weird.
Yeah. Or you seeing young Luke Skywalker be like,
yeah. When I saw him real quick in the TV joint, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But don't drag it out, and all of a sudden I see him have his own series.
Like, I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. I will say this though.
Yep.
I did like the Dark Flash bit. I did like that a bit. That was kind of cool to me for those who didn't know about that. But again, it takes you back. What the hell was Reverse Flash? If you guys are going to put that portion in there, so that was that was that part. But besides that, man, it was a good film. I saw it. I was excited for it. It had Batman in it. I was reliving my 1989 days when I saw it for the first time. And Michael Keaton still looks great. That was dope. But now I do it to say so. Our hot take score 8.1, man, out of 10. For all the things we said, it was a good film. It was a good summer film. It was a good. I think we haven't had any. This was like the first really big superhero film that we had since Spider-Man. Like the one that had all the hoopla and a lot of energy and the comedy and stuff like that was pretty dope. I did feel kind of weird about the whole baby scene at the beginning. I was like, this is a little squeamish right now. But you put a baby in a microwave. I was not ready for that part at all. But it was dope, man. I'm crazy to say I am looking forward to all these other films just to see what they do. And again, forget the box office stuff and the money. They're not going to make their money back. I saw something between Shazam, The Flash, and the upcoming Blue Beetle film. They're looking at spending over $1 billion total with all this stuff together between marketing and production costs and all that. You're not going to get this back, bro. Just get through it. That's where the previous regime left you.
They need to quickly speed up the Superman legacy.
Yes.
When I say quickly, get past these movies and then just take your time with that.
Yeah. And we can go from there. We go from there, man. So, of course, man, you got anything else? Anything? Yes. No. Good.
I'm trying to think of anything missed in there.
No, I think that's all I had from the film itself. I might go watch it again.
By the way, please do away with the lasso of truth. that part for me.
Yeah, corny. That was just corny.
And by the way, was there a up the skirt shot on Gal Gadot? Was this Did you see that?
Now I have to go back and watch the film just to see if I know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to tell you, around the last little true time, I sat back and I was like, wow, this is a real real interesting shot you guys got of Gal Gadot here. So hey, maybe that's her going away present. I don't know. I almost took $1 out of my pocket.
Well,
sorry, Jaden.
Well, make sure that you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Hot Tea Podcast, man. For myself, Storyteller, we got Jayisxzno here from the XZNO Clothing brand, man. Yo, this is the Hot Tea Podcast. Presents Hot Takes. We'll catch you next time.